Hello everyone, I hope you guys are all having a fabulous day. Today is all about handbag essentials. I get a lot of questions on the small leather goods that I carry and how I use them, especially those that are more so labeled miscellaneous but are still incredibly versatile. So I thought I would share them with you and maybe give you some ideas on how you can incorporate these small leather goods into your collection. So I hope that you enjoy this video. If you do, make sure and give it a thumbs up, and without further ado, let's get started, shall we? So you will notice that I use small leather goods for all of my items because I think it makes it so much easier to find exactly what it is that you're looking for, and you're not sitting there rummaging through your handbag or digging through it forever in a day, especially when you go to pay. Because in the past, I used to have all of my items loosely within my bag, and more often than not, I felt like if I needed to get that one item, I would end up emptying the entire contents of my handbag onto the counter, and the item that I really needed was always the very last one. It was always at the bottom. But now I feel like, oh, if I need to go for my wallet, I go for my wallet. If I need my catch-all, I go for that. So I just think it makes it so much easier. But I typically carry anywhere from 3 to 8 small leather goods. Of course, it depends on the bag and it depends on what I'm doing for the day. But for the most part, those essentials are my key holder, my key pouch, my wallet, cosmetic case, round coin purse, my phone, my sunglasses, and my catch-all. Now I do have a 9th item, and that is my Louis Vuitton Agenda GM. With that one, sometimes I carry it in my handbag, but for the most part, I have it in my hand or I have it in my car, and it's a short distance from my car to wherever it is that I'm going. Now, when I go for smaller handbags, I want to be able to maximize my space while still being able to carry everything that I absolutely need. And when it comes to larger handbags, let's be honest, it's a complete free-for-all, and I feel compelled to carry a little bit more and a little bit more. So the inner pack rat in me definitely comes out. So let's knock out 2 of these items so that way we can get into the small leather goods. My phone. My phone, more often than not, is either in my hand or in my back pocket. My sunglasses, sometimes I have them on top of my head, sometimes I have them on my collar. But when I do have a larger handbag, they are always inside of the bag. Wallets. I definitely gravitate the most towards compact ones. I find them a lot easier to switch in and out of handbags, and these are the 3 styles that I use the most. The first one being the Chanel O-Zip coin purse, and this is probably my all-time favorite style because even though it is small, you can fit as much as a full-size wallet in here. It fits inside of my smaller handbags, no problem, and I also like the fact that you do have the 3 compartments because it gives you a little bit more organization. This is the old style. The new style now has a back pocket, so it gives you again a little bit more play. I will have to say that if you do carry cash or if you have receipts, you are going to have to fold those a few times in order to fit them in here, and some people might find that to be quite fussy. The other one is the Chanel Beauty CC pouch or the Mini O pouch, and this is one of those miscellaneous pieces, and I find it to be incredibly versatile, but the way that I prefer to use it is as a wallet because to me it's very similar to the O-Zip coin purse, but without having to necessarily kind of fold the cash or the receipts as much. Plus, the fact that it is quite slender, you're able to fit it inside of your smaller handbags no problem. And the last style of wallet is the flat card holder. Now this is the one that I use the most when I want to go uber compact, when I just want to carry the bare essentials of my wallet. That being my driver's license, a card, some cash, my insurance information, and not too much else. So that way I'm really able to maximize my space inside of my smaller handbags. Now when it comes to flat card holders, I definitely prefer the ones that have anywhere from 4 to 5 credit card slots because I feel like you have a little bit more play. You're not necessarily limited to just 2 compartments. I've also doubled them up quite nicely in here. I haven't had any issues with the compartments stretching out to the point where the cards end up falling out or anything like that. So that way if you carry anywhere from 8 to 10 cards, you have a little bit more play when it comes to a card holder with this type of style. Now out of the ones that I own, this is the one that I recommend the most, which is the Saint Laurent in the pebbled leather, because I think that the pebbled leather holds up incredibly well. It is very, very durable and I've never had any issues. But when it comes to wallets in general, oh yeah, most certainly my preference is always the Chanel O-Zip coin purse. Catch-alls. These are the 3 styles that I end up using the most, and out of all of them, my preference is actually the Louis Vuitton mini pochette. Now the best way that I can describe a catch-all, it's kind of like the junk drawer in your home. It's kind of like your emergency what-if stash, you know what I mean? So in here, I usually carry my gum, my key fobs, floss, my friendly cigars, my headache medicine, or anything else, kind of like little bits and bobs, nothing too crazy, nothing too bulky, and they always end up working out the best. I honestly feel that out of all 3 of them, like I said before, I end up using the mini pochette one the most because I feel that this one kind of has a little bit more play. Sometimes the Beauty CC pouch from Chanel ends up being a little too restricting because it is quite slender, and I do like using the Toiletry 15 as a catch-all, but sometimes it can be a little bit bit stiff just because of the structure that it has. But with this guy, I feel like it just kind of blends in and it molds quite nicely to every single solitary handbag. Another thing that you can use this for, you can also use it as a wallet, you can use it as a cosmetics case, you can use it as a clutch, you can use it as a little mini handbag. There have been times that I have kind of attached a larger like kind of crossbody strap and use it that way at amusement parks. And another thing that I like using this for, I kind of like using it as a buffer. And what I mean by that is, let's say that you have a smaller leather lined handbag, and let's say that you don't want to have any indentations or you don't want to have any marks happen to the interior of that handbag. You can put your card holder, your flat card holder in here, a few other items that aren't too bulky in here, and then you kind of have like a pouch within a pouch within a pouch situation. And even in those leather lined handbags, I've never had an issue with the chain leaving an indentation either. So that's another way that you can use the catch-all. Key holders, that is all I use this small leather good for. The Chanel one I've been using nonstop for the last 3 years, and it is a 6-ring key holder. It does have one little slip pocket, and it also has a back pocket, which I don't use too often, but they are very convenient if you want to go very compact. So you can put your driver's license or a card back here and maybe some cash in that small little pocket. And the reason why I've been using that nonstop is because I was trying to give the Louis Vuitton one a little bit of a rest, because this one I used for like 10 plus years, every single solitary day. Now the Louis Vuitton one is also a 6-ring key holder, and this one does have a little slip pocket, and I have seen some people put their driver's license back there or a credit card to make it a little bit more versatile. And I think that works out great, but as long as the card isn't too thick, because if the card is too thick, it's a little bit harder to close. So if you were to put some cash back there, I think that would work out well, but nothing too bulky. So I thought I would mention that as well. Now I have had some questions on how I end up using the 6-ring key holder. So even though it is a 6 key holder, you can actually take off these little holders themselves and customize it to your needs. So that way if you only want 2 holders and maybe you want to carry your larger key fob, you can do that as well. And it's very easy to remove them. It's very easy to put them back. And what I really like about these holders, you can take out just one key, you know, so if it's your gate key, your house key, or anything else that you need, and everything else is still housed in here. And I don't really use either of these holders for my key fob anymore, just because this is more so a remote, so this ends up going in another catch-all. But if you do have a larger fob, and let's say you are carrying 6 keys in here, it might be harder to close, so I thought I'd point that out as well. Sometimes they might stick out, but as long as the key doesn't kind of open up on its own, I think you're okay. And that's actually how I used it with my old fob. And another great thing is that you can also double up the keys in here. So let's say that you needed to carry a little bit more with you. You have the opportunity to be able to put a lot more in there. But again, the more that you have, it might be harder to close if you have a fob, or, you know, just in general, if the keys end up being a little bit bigger. But whenever I do want to go compact, I do take out my main keys and I put that in another small leather good, which I will talk about a little bit later. But I think both of these are fantastic. You guys have heard me say that these definitely save the interior of your handbag, and they save the, you know, the exterior of other small leather goods that you are carrying. Cosmetic cases, quite possibly the most important small leather good within my handbag, because they hold my lip products, my lotion, and my compact. And you guys know I am a lip junkie. Now, I don't carry any other makeup with me, so if I leave my house at 5 o'clock in the morning with a full face, and by the time I get home, if I'm looking toe up, it is what it is. But my lip gloss will look fantastic because I reapply it a million times throughout the day. Another thing that I really like about these guys is that they can double up as clutches and catch-alls quite nicely. Now these 3 I end up using the most in my medium to large handbags because they do take up quite a bit of space. The first one is the Louis Vuitton Toiletry 19 and the Chanel Small O Case. Now even though this one is small, it is a little bit thicker, so it does take up quite a bit of space inside of like my classic flaps. And then the other one is the Small Ophidia case from Gucci. I really like this one because you can definitely pack a punch, but out of all of them, the 19 definitely speaks to me the most because I can carry a crazy amount of lip products in here. Now when I do want to go compact, I go for these 3. Those being the Louis Vuitton Toiletry 15 because I'm able to maximize my space. I don't carry a ton of lip products. I might carry 1 or 2, but I fit a few other small leather goods in here. The other one is the Louis Vuitton Mini Pochette. Now with this one, sometimes I go back and forth on using it as a cosmetics case because it doesn't have the wipeable interior. So if like my lip gloss ends up leaking or if I get a lipstick stain, it's a little bit harder to be able to remove the stain. So more often than not, I might end up fitting a lip balm in here or something that has more of a secure lid. And the other one is the Chanel Beauty CC pouch. So when I do go compact, I do carry maybe 1 or 2 lip products in here, and then I maybe fit a few other items in here such as wallet essentials or what have you. And I like the fact that this is able to fit inside of, you know, my smaller handbags quite nicely just because it is so slender. But out of all of the cosmetic cases that I end up using, I definitely prefer the toiletries from Louis Vuitton the most because they do have that wipeable or that washable interior. So if you do have any type of makeup accidents, they're very easy to clean up. The clay or the key pouch. I've said it before that when it comes to this small leather good, there are various ways that you can incorporate it into your lifestyle. I feel like the possibilities are endless. And remember how I said earlier that I detach my main keys from my key holder and I put them in another small leather good? This is what I was talking about. So whenever I do want to go super compact, I take off those main keys, I put them in here, and I'm still able to maximize my space. Now, some of the ways that you can incorporate this item into your lifestyle, you can use it as a key pouch, as the name states. You can use it as a bag charm, you can use it as a wallet, you can use it as a catch-all, you can even use it as a handbag. Yeah, you heard that correctly, as a handbag, because you can put your keys on here, you can put your ID, a credit card, some cash, and a few other bits and bobs, nothing too bulky, nothing too big, and this is your handbag. So on those days where it's crazy hot and you don't feel like carrying around a big old bag, this is what you can use. Now, sometimes I do use it as a key pouch, very rarely, but mostly I tend to use this as a catch-all, and a catch-all with specific items, those being hair ties, bobby pins, and hair clips. Now, some of you guys might be thinking, why on earth would anybody have a small leather good solely for their bobby pins and hair clips? Well, I tell you this, my friend, because hair clips and bobby pins are just as deadly as keys. They can end up damaging the interior of your handbag. They can scratch up other small leather goods. They leave these little indentations that are almost impossible to get rid of. So by putting them in something like the clay with such a sturdy interior that doesn't show those scratch marks, that doesn't show those indentations, definitely works out, you know, because I'm sure some of you are thinking, why not put it in your cosmetics case? Why not put it in your catch-all? But no, like I said before, some of those items have such, you know, soft interiors that you're able to see those scratches. You're able to see these guys just leave their marks. So I definitely don't want to do that, you know, but the funny thing is that when it comes to like bobby pins and hair clips, this is kind of a side note, but I think I've talked about this before. I seem to lose them like crazy. At the beginning of the week, I might have, I don't know, 20 of them in here. And at the end of the week, I have like 3 or 4 and I don't know where they go. You know, I'm constantly messing with my hair. It's hot. You know, I'm trying to put it up in a bun, or I have a bunch of clips all over because of these good old baby hairs, you know, but I don't know where they go. And they're nowhere around my house or in my car. So I seem to have a plethora of these little guys. But still, being able to put them in something like this to ensure that the interior of my handbags and other small leather goods stays looking fantastic, oh yeah, I'm definitely all about that. The coin pouch. This one I solely use for coins. As many of you know, I'm not a big fan of seeing coin residue inside of any of my wallets or anything like that. It drives me nuts. So having something specifically for my coins definitely works out the best for my lifestyle. Now, whenever I am going super compact, this is the first small leather good to go because I'm trying to maximize my space. Plus, it can get very heavy, of course, depending on how much change I'm carrying. But some ways people have incorporated this into their collections. I've heard people say that they use this as a headphones holder or as a catch-all. So that does it for my handbag essentials and how I use them. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure and give it a thumbs up. And what are some of your handbag essentials? Let us know in the comment section down below. Once again, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already and you would like to, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and I'll see you guys later. And as always, make it a fabulous day or not, the choice is yours. Have a great day.